So a while back, we did the trailer reaction to Gerald's game.
Yep.
I remember at the time, we thought that the idea was great, but we had some concerns over the execution. There was like something with a dog that could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
They had some kid in there.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was all
Kids.
about, you know. Anyways, did they pull it all together? Let's find out.
Okay, so this is a spoiler-filled review. Great. So if you are still watching, that means you've seen the video.
Yes.
So just quick recap on the movie itself. Husband and wife decide they want to go to the lake house to kind of rekindle their dying romance.
Yeah.
Husband ties wife to the bed. Dies of a heart attack. And the rest goes to shit.
Okay, it's likes time. I think we got a handful. You want to start it off?
Sure. So right off the bat, I definitely thought there was a lot of the kind of slow-moving gore, which was good.
No.
Her getting her hand through the handcuff was pretty bad. The dog taking the bites out of his dead arm and the noises and all of that.
Perfect.
Creeped me out, definitely like
so
that.
Slow moving as opposed to some of that gore where it's just like boom, blunt trauma done.
Right.
Like you said, you saw the hands
And it was
slowly
slow,
peeling off.
and she was screaming, and it was,
So awesome, so awesome. Now, one of the things that I gotta tell you, and I gotta give all credit for, we said it early on, we were really concerned about how they were going to execute this.
Right.
You know, it takes place in her mind.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you translate that to screen? Well, I gotta say, brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. The manifestations of her mind, so to speak. You know, the guy being sort of the evil aspect of her psyche. The woman,
husband, yeah.
You know, herself, effectively, but sort of the best self of herself. Was an absolutely brilliant way to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it presented and gave options on you know, it's a fine line because it's her.
Right.
Like, so even though
Yeah.
it's him saying these words,
coming from her.
That's coming from a part of her.
Right.
Very, very, very well done. And then I think I know, because I think we kind of mentioned this before, you had a little thing going for the Moonlight Man.
Yeah. So talk about creepy, okay? The
Yeah.
fact that at the end he ends up actually being a real person, you know.
Yes.
If you think maybe he's kind of this monster and he's maybe all in her mind and he represents death, but he actually was this, you know, serial killer,
Right,
you
yeah.
know, and they described each of the acts that he did, which
Right. Yes.
creeped me out, you know.
Okay,
And then at the end she actually sees him face to face.
Right.
And I thought that was a great way of kind of tying it all together and ending it.
Yeah,
So-
no, that was absolutely wonderful. And I came to find out later on, believe it or not, that's a controversial part
Okay.
of this. Apparently it's the same in the book. And apparently some people had problems. They wanted the Moonlight Man to be death, you know, or to be some supernatural being
Monster
or force,
type,
or
right.
even part of her head, mind, and everything else. But I think you're 100% right. I think making him real makes the horror real.
Yeah,
and
I felt like it was credible with that.
it's credible, and it adds a whole different layer from
Mm-hmm.
the standpoint that you even mentioned this. Why did he not just slaughter her?
Right.
You know,
he saved her. That,
yeah.
that
You know,
was
I mean,
another left me with questions. So
But
yeah,
it was good. It was good, you know. And then to tie into that, so now we'll go outside of the narrative of the film. I like the fact that he was a real actor.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so that was General has agromaglia. Obviously, they exaggerated it for this. Uh-oh, poor
Sorry.
Jason, he's upset.
He didn't like it.
No, I didn't say you had agromaglia.
He was upset,
So
yeah.
the actor did. But just destroys the hell out of the CGI crap that is put out there. You know, there was no question that you know, when he came out of that corner, you know, that he was real, he was solid, it wasn't some apparition or ghost. And of course that was sort of required for him to be real at the end of the movie.
Right.
But it added to our experience as a viewer that he was a real person with some
committing real
slight,
acts.
yeah, and with some slight makeup, but not a CGI.
Right.
You know, yeah. So there was that, and then I think probably the last thing, and it gets a little bit into the esoteric, so just kind of follow along with me. What I really, really liked about this movie is they took a sort of a simple premise, honestly, and an interesting premise, nonetheless, and used it to showcase, now this is my takeaway, and yours might be different, the audience might be different, let us know in the comment section below. My takeaway of this is that this was the ultimate expression of just how dangerous it is to keep secrets from someone who is ostensibly a life partner,
right?
A married couple, whatever it is. This guy's kick is dominating women, and it's established that they've been married 11 years,
right?
Okay, and this is the second time ever that he's done it, and the first time he just did it,
right?
That's ridiculous. Like, before you go down the aisle, go, oh, hey, babe, by the way,
this is what I'm into.
This is my thing,
yeah,
right? And
exactly.
if it's not your thing, then this isn't going to work out,
exactly.
And then on the flip side, you've got her who's had this insane childhood trauma, and she's like, I better not mention that.
Right.
Okay, now, people will be like, hey, dude, you can't do that because that's going to be traumatic when you bring it up, right? Okay, that's fine, except when this little landmine goes off, now you get 2 traumas for the price of 1. When you could have had just the 1 early on, and not only that, but what happens? He calls her daddy, and boom, that triggers the whole thing, right? Okay? Let's have this discussion before we get married.
Yeah,
by the way,
like, did she even know him these entire 11 years that they've been together?
Right, well, let's say you have the discussion beforehand, right? Then he gets to do his little domination thing and just simply not call her dad. Not be requested to be called daddy.
Yeah.
Like, we all like being called daddy, let's be honest. But you don't have to. It's not a requirement.
Exactly.
You could spin that around, like teacher. I'm just saying, there's options. There's options, okay. So they illustrated that Pori absolutely brilliantly. There was so much good stuff in this.
Yeah.
We could go on and on and on, but those are definitely the highlights for us. All right, it is dislike time. I'm going to reserve my comments and roll it over to you. What do you got?
I was trying to look for something, and I really didn't see anything in it that I didn't like. The acting I thought was very, superior.
Okay.
Just the plot was done really well. The Moonlight Man, everything kind of really, I really liked him. Really creeped me out, and I wasn't expecting it. So don't really have a whole lot to go on from that. What about you?
Well, I turned it over to you because I'm in the same boat. I really racked my brains. I mean, we like to get on here and be fair. We don't like to nitpick. You mentioned everything that was solid. My pet peeve, of course, is always plot. This was solid and tight. A to B to C. There were no holes. I mean, if she had gotten away from this, gotten her car and drove to the hospital, you'd hear me screaming and yelling because that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Instead, she crashes, which is totally
realistic. That was great. Or
thing.
she faints after the water. Like it all checked out.
Tight. Yeah. Again, like you said, acting, direction, all of it, top shelf. So I can't give any dislikes. All right, it is Pinhead time. So I'm going to let you start it up. What are you going to give it?
Okay, so as much as I did enjoy the movie, like I said, a lot of good points about the acting, realistic expectations, all of that. Wasn't one of my favorites. Would I watch it again? Probably not.
Okay.
So with all that tied in together, I'd say probably a 3.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? Okay. All right, that's actually, you know what, in retrospect, I mean, when you all things considered, that's actually pretty high. Really, it doesn't seem like it, but considering the
some of the other things we've seen,
that we normally watch. I'm actually on a similar wavelength from the standpoint of, yes, did love it, don't have any issues or complaints right off the top of my head. But, you brought up the thing of would I watch it again? Maybe, but it's not something I would go to. I know I've rated things higher, such as The Void and Death Note. Those I'll watch anytime. So I'm actually also going to go 3.5 pinheads. And again, that's going to make the math real easy for us. This is going to be a 3.5. There you go. 5 pinhead. All right, so what did you guys think? Please let us know in the comment section below.
And as always, like and subscribe to the channel.
Yes. And one more thing, I have a little something here I would like for you to try on.
Oh, okay.
If you could. Yes.
Sure. Oh, is that blood on there?
Oh, shit, I thought I wiped that off.